If chewy chicken, mushy mayonnaise, and disappointing flavor are the first things to come to mind when you hear chicken salad, you're in luck. Here's how to transform your chicken salad from sad to satisfying. When we make chicken salad, it can be tempting to load it up with lots of creamy mayonnaise or other salad dressings. But not all creamy ingredients are created equally. You can end up making a healthy chicken salad extremely unhealthy if you choose high-calorie and high-fat cream bases. A basic chicken salad recipe typically calls for a half cup of mayonnaise. Within a serving of that basic chicken salad, the mayonnaise portion of 2 tablespoons typically includes 188 calories and 20 grams of fat. Meanwhile, a typical creamy dressing contains 126 calories and 13 grams of fat. As an alternative, you can opt for less mayo or a different creamy base. You can get plenty of flavor from sour cream, which only has 60 calories and 2.9 grams of fat in 2 tablespoons. To make it even healthier, try low-fat yogurt, which has 17 calories and 0.4 grams of fat in 2 tablespoons. Chicken is a lean type of meat, but you still need to be careful when cooking it. The best methods to keep the calories and fat down require little to no extra oil, such as grilling, broiling, baking, poaching, boiling, steaming, or microwaving. Be sure to remove the skin and fat before cooking to reduce fat overall. Meanwhile, using fried chicken will greatly increase the caloric, fat, and salt content. According to Healthline, if you cook chicken with dry cooking methods above 482 degrees Fahrenheit, several studies indicate that this may create harmful chemicals. So instead, utilize a method that doesn't brown the meat or produce smoke, such as sous vide, steaming, pressure cooking, or microwaving. On the other hand, methods like grilling, pan-searing, deep frying, smoking, and roasting may produce carcinogens, which can cause cancer. And we'd all prefer to avoid that, right?
Yeah, that would be bad.
There's nothing more disappointing than a beautiful chicken salad ruined by mushy or watery ingredients. The biggest offenders in this area are raw or cooked watery vegetables or ingredients that haven't been dried after you've washed them. To avoid this, simply pat them with a paper towel or a clean, absorbent dishcloth. If you're including tomatoes and cucumbers, remove the seeds and soft innards before adding them to the salad. You can even salt them to remove excess moisture, especially if you plan to cook them first. This can also help to release proteins to make the ingredients more flavorful. One good method for this is to toss the veggies with salt, transfer them to a colander for half an hour, and then dry off the excess moisture before cooking or adding them to the salad. Your chicken salad add-ins have the potential to make this classic concoction even more nutritious than normal, so choose your ingredients wisely. The most common additions include apples, nuts, celery, and grapes, but you're only limited by what you have at hand to add. Other potential options that you may not have considered include the likes of olives, seeds, onions, herbs, apple cider vinegar, pomegranates, and pickles.
Pickles? I'm hungry.
It's all just a matter of pairing them with the right beans. For example, the classic coronation chicken salad recipe contains cinnamon, ginger, mango chutney, curry powder, sultanas, and cilantro for a nice Indian-style flair. Or you could opt for an Asian-inspired crunchy chicken salad with ingredients like dry ramen noodles, almonds, Kewpie mayo, cilantro, ginger, rice wine vinegar, and togarashi. If you start with chicken that tastes like nothing, it can be difficult to cover up the blandness with external ingredients alone. If, however, you start by marinating, brining, barbecuing, seasoning, or adding citrus while cooking, you should have a far more flavorful chicken as a base. Of course, sometimes the whole reason we decide to make chicken into a salad is that we want to do something with otherwise bland, boring poultry. You can always gussy up your chicken by drizzling an acid like lemon or pickle juice on it. Stir-ins like spice mixes and herbs can also kick it up a notch. And while it's not the healthiest add-in, a little bacon will certainly add a nice zing. Pickled vegetables like cucumbers can add some zing with their vinegar base as well. Meanwhile, roasted veggies like peppers can lend a more robust flavor profile. Of course, you can always add fresh veggies or fruit for more savory or sweet flavor layers. Chutneys or relishes may also add extra interest. You can always include even more protein and different umami bites with nuts, hard-boiled eggs, or cheese. And don't forget alliums like onions and garlic for an even harder punch. You can avoid rubbery chicken by brining it before cooking, or by cooking with a moist method like steaming, boiling, slow cooking, braising, or sous vide. Using a meat mallet for tenderizing can also help break down the protein and make it more delicious overall. Sometimes, though, your chicken is rubbery because the meat has more connective tissue than normal. In that case, your cooking method may not be at fault for the tough state of your meat. Luckily, you can still salvage overcooked chicken. If you cooked it on the grill or in the oven, you can often remove the burnt outer parts to reveal meat that's still tender inside. Adding olive oil or butter may also moisturize it a bit, and sometimes you can warm it up with a little water or other liquid-like broth to restore lost moisture. If you've been eating your chicken salad alone or on white bread or plain crackers, you're doing it wrong. They're simply not as nutritious as other possibilities, and since they're low in fiber, they won't fill you up either. Instead, consider a whole grain option, which usually has more vitamins and minerals than bread and crackers made from bleached white flour. It also contains B and E vitamins, iron, magnesium, zinc, and antioxidants. Another option is to serve it on top of lettuce or with other greens, which are a great choice if you're looking for a lower calorie addition that can still add fiber and nutrients to your meal. Chicken salad has the potential to cause food poisoning if you're not careful about how you prepare, store, and serve it. According to the Centers for Disease Control, about 1 million people in the United States get sick from eating bad chicken each year. This can happen when you allow raw chicken juice to contaminate other food, or you don't use a different cutting board for that raw poultry. You should always remember to wash cutting boards, dishes, utensils, sinks, and your hands after they come into contact with raw chicken. After you've cooked your chicken, be sure to check it with a food thermometer to ensure that it's reached an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, which should kill any pathogens. You'll also want to keep in mind that bacteria starts to grow on food anytime it's in the danger zone, within the range of 40 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. The CDC says that chicken is normally safe out of the refrigerator for 2 hours, but if it's been sitting around in a hot car or the sun at 90 degrees Fahrenheit or above, it's only safe for an hour, as the bacteria will have multiplied faster. Chicken salad benefits from the addition of something sweet like fruit to contrast with all the savory elements. There's nothing inherently wrong with adding dried or candied fruit to chicken salad instead of or in addition to fresh fruit. But you should be aware that just a little bit of dried fruit adds more extra calories and sugar than you might suspect. If you add a quarter cup of raisins, that means an extra 170 calories and 37 grams of sugar, whereas if you add a serving of raw grapes, that only adds 39 calories and 8.8 grams of sugar. The same applies to every type of fruit and its dried alternative. Because dried fruit has the majority of its moisture removed, the fruit is shrunken, which can be deceiving because more calories and sugar can pack into the same amount of space. A variety of textures can make your chicken salad far more interesting. There's a scientific reason why we love crunchy foods after all. When we eat crunchy bites, our brains have evolved to tell us that it's good to eat, unlike mushy and decaying food. Over time, we've come to equate that crunching sound with food safety. In fact, a 2006 study found that when we're stressed, we gravitate toward foods with bite. People even rate food as less pleasurable when they don't have any texture. So if you're not adding satisfying, chewy ingredients to your chicken salad, you're not getting as much from it as you could. A classic chicken salad with a crunchy twist might contain apples, celery, and nuts. Crisp fruits, vegetables, seeds, dry ramen, and sesame sticks can also add extra crunch to make you get far more pleasure from your salad than otherwise. When you don't wash raw fruits and vegetables before putting them into your salad, you put yourself at risk of various foodborne illnesses. According to the CDC, it's only safe to skip washing fruits and veggies if the packaging says they've been pre-washed. Otherwise, assume that they haven't been washed. And you only need to use plain, running water to do the washing. That's because produce is porous, and you don't want any soap to pass through the skin to the fruit beneath. If you're overly concerned about food safety, like if you accidentally get raw chicken juice on your produce, you can scrub the produce with a brush or wash it with 1 part vinegar to 3 parts water. Even if you plan to peel the fruit or veggie or cut it up with the peel intact, it's important to wash the peel before you peel it or cut it, as you can pass bacteria from the peel to the knife and then to the flesh of the produce. Raw veggies are typical for chicken salads, but there are other tasty alternatives. Roasted, grilled, steamed, dried, pickled, and fermented veggies can all make excellent additions. For starters,
they have antioxidants.
They do?
That's right, and you may be surprised to find that some vegetables obtain nutritional advantages when you cook them. For example, carrots, spinach, peppers, cabbage, and asparagus provide more antioxidants when they're cooked. The best options are steaming or boiling. On the other hand, frying depletes these antioxidants. And a study from 2002 shows that carrots have more beta-carotene after we cook them. Our bodies use beta-carotene to make vitamin A, which has a variety of health benefits. Heat also makes the carotenoids in carrots easier to metabolize, so they can more effectively work to protect your eyes and possibly lower your risk of cancer. Furthermore, steamed broccoli holds on to more glucosinolate, which may protect against some cancers, and quick-cooked mushrooms may have more antioxidants. Adding fermented vegetables to chicken salad can also play a role in maintaining gut health. Pickles, sauerkraut, kimchi, and other pickled vegetables are all great options in that area. Some people really push their luck when it comes to leftovers, but that's a habit you definitely want to avoid when it comes to chicken salad. Just relying on a look and sniff test can leave you with food poisoning, as you can't see and smell every food contaminant. Leftovers that contain meat are tricky, especially those that you don't reheat before eating, and chicken isn't safe as long as some other meats like beef, pork, and lamb. According to foodsafety.gov, you can keep chicken salad safe in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 days, at a temperature of 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below. The USDA says it's good for up to 5 days, so you definitely shouldn't push your luck past 6 days or beyond. Unfortunately, chicken salad doesn't freeze well, and the USDA says that you shouldn't freeze it if it contains mayonnaise. While mayonnaise is safe to eat after it's been frozen, the emulsion effect will break down, causing parts of it to separate from its colloidal state.